just wrapped up with Aditi. We bring in Mary Kay now. I'm confusing myself. We're a big mess, but we'll pull it together. Mary Kay Cabot now, of course, from Cleveland.com. Mary Kay, how are you? Big plans for Thanksgiving? What's going on?
Yes, having the family over to my house, and I was just looking around the house and thinking, geez, I better clean this place. It's a little crazy of a time of year to be having people over when, we're out there in Berea for 10, 12 hours a day, but we'll get it done. We always do.
Mary Kay, you are way too important a person to be cleaning your own house. Can't you have someone else do it for you?
I keep meaning to get around to that, but I just never do. So,
for those who don't know, Mary Kay has a daughter who is a circus performer, right?
Right.
Does she get a break from the circus to come back for Thanksgiving?
No, she's in France right now performing, and she will be in Austria at Christmas time. So she doesn't get to come home for Thanksgiving, unfortunately. But my other daughter from New York City is home, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, good. Wow.
That's crazy.
What a life. Being in the circus, traveling the world.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, my new nickname is Big Circus, but I'm not hanging from the tent or anything. That's crazy.
Mary Kay, what did you take from the Browns win on Thursday? Is this something that they could help them turn things around? I'm not saying that they're going to rip off and finish the season 9-8, but they can finish the season on a more positive note than where it was headed.
Absolutely, they can. This is going to be a tough game for them Monday night in Denver. Bo Nix is playing really well. Their defense is playing really well. They have a good secondary that I think is really going to challenge Jameis and the receivers. But they can go out there and play well because that's what they have been doing lately. So good for them. I thought the defense really showed up in this past game. I thought the offense did some nice things. So they can get on a little run here. They absolutely can. But they are also heading into the toughest part of their schedule, where you're starting to see 4 more road games left, only 2 games. And then, of course, you've got Pittsburgh again. You've got Baltimore. You've got Cincinnati. You've got the Chiefs coming to town. So this is not going to be easy by any stretch, but I do think that they can have a couple more feel-good games like that.
Well, we talk about feel-good games. We were just talking to Didi about Jameis Winston. Are you more bearish or bullish on Jameis Winston? Do you think what are the chances that he starts a game for the Cleveland Browns in 2025?
It's hard to say. I don't think we can predict accurately at this point if he's going to be back with the team or if he's not. I think the quarterback room is wide open at this point. I do think that there probably is a world in which they have to bring Deshaun back and figure that out. But I don't know if Jameis will be in there with him. I don't know if it will be someone else. I don't know if they're going to draft a quarterback, trade for one, sign one. I'm sure that they have their preliminary plans right now. Jameis certainly has made a strong case for himself to be back and to play some games for the Cleveland Browns next year. But we just don't know where any of this is going yet. That's really the truth.
I seen during the Thursday night game, Albert Breer reported that Kevin and Andrew Berry are safe or should be good to stay here. They're not going to get fired. Do you think that the Browns are making the right decision, or do you think that is something that they should look into once the conclusion of this season is over?
Yeah, and we have been reporting that too. So, we heard what Andrew Berry said at the bye week, and then I've been reporting that those guys are safe. So, I don't necessarily know that we need to wait for a national person to tell us something that we really have been hearing ourselves and reporting ourselves. So, I do think that those guys are safe, that they want to maintain stability and the status quo. We heard Andrew Berry rave about Kevin. We've seen them go out and beat the Ravens and the Steelers. I think that will help them. I think that continuity for this team is good. You don't see the Steelers blowing it up all the time.
True, but the Steelers at least consistently make the playoffs and have a winning record, which the Browns have been more up and down. But I do agree with you. I think in the end, it is the right move to keep Kevin Stefanski. I'm not as convinced with Andrew Berry. I feel personally better, more confident in Kevin Stefanski than Andrew Berry. Is that fair, unfair? Mary Kay, what do you think?
Well, at this point, I think it's all about the quarterback. And if they can solve the quarterback situation, and if they can kind of pull a rabbit out of a hat, and that was an organizational decision. So, again, I don't think you can pin that whole decision on Andrew Berry. I think
Fair.
they all put their heads together and they decided that they wanted a quarterback that they felt could win them a Super Bowl. So I don't think he should take the fall for that. But now it's going to be incumbent upon him to try to fix the quarterback situation. And we don't know how that's going to look yet. I can't imagine what they have in mind or what they're going to do. But you can rest assured that they already have preliminary plans for figuring this out.
When you look at the plans at quarterback, I look at the record, and sometimes when you look at the record, it kind of could tell you where you might be drafting, where you're looking at. What are some positions besides quarterback that you think the Browns are going to target? Because the quarterback position is up in there. What do you think some definite needs are where they may look to bolster in the draft that are higher priorities other than quarterback?
Well, I think you could always use another really good premier edge rusher if you could find one of those. Now, if you use your first round pick on a quarterback, you're not going to be able to get one of the top edge rushers in the NFL. But I do think that that they should be out on the lookout for one of those guys because you can never have too many good edge rushers. And Myles is starting to get up there in football years anyways. So certainly he's going to need down the road somebody to be spelling him a little bit or at least starting opposite him. So I would look there. Cornerbacks, they're always looking for good cornerbacks. We don't know what the future of Greg Newsome is yet. And we know that Martin Emerson didn't have quite the season that they expected him to have. We know that Andrew Berry absolutely loves cornerbacks. So you might want to be looking there a little bit. And then I think they should be pretty well set at offensive tackle with DeWand and Jack. And then if they choose to, they can re-sign Jed for the for the swing tackle position. Now, linebacker, that's one to take a look at because JOK, we really don't know the future of JOK at this point. He has a neck injury. They're unpredictable. We don't know when he's going to be able to come back from that. And especially if there's nerve damage in there, you just don't know when you're going to be able to get the strength back and the range of motion. So that's one to keep an eye on.
Mary Kay, I want to go back because you talked about Myles Garrett there. Obviously, he had a tremendous game Thursday night against Pittsburgh. TJ Watt was really a no-show in this game. So Myles, in this battle for who's the best pass rusher in football, obviously we're all a little biased. We think it's Myles Garrett, but, I think I try to take my biases out of it. To me, it's pretty clear, but whatever. But on this day, at the very least, there was no debate who was the better player on that day. Myles' comments after the game, I know he marches to the beat of a different drummer, but I liked the comments. I didn't have a problem with anything he said, but I was a little surprised he was that aggressive with his commentary. Were you?
Yes, I was surprised.
Yeah.
I really was surprised. But what happened was TJ Watt poked the bear when he tweeted what he tweeted at those NFL Honor Awards last February. And that really stuck in Myles' craw. It hurt him. And then JJ Watt, his brother, kind of chimed in on that. And Myles firmly believes that was his moment. They stole his thunder. TJ stole his thunder. He's never thrown shade at a TJ award. And so I think he was really, really upset by that. And he used that as fuel in that game. And boy, did it work for him. He was loaded for bear, and then he went out and he got the rest of the team fired up too. That defense came out with his hair on fire, and they were ready to play, especially in that first half. So I do think that Myles just took that so personally, and he used it and to the Browns' benefit, really.
Mary Kay, what is your thoughts on the development of young players in the Browns organization?
Well, I think they do a really good job of it. And I think as you look over these next 6 games, you're going to see more of these young guys playing more. I think you'll see more Jamari Thrash. Now, right now, Cedric Tillman is out with a concussion. So you're going to be forced to play some younger players. But who knows? Maybe Jamari will get on the field more. Maybe Jalen Darden will get on the field more. Maybe Mike Woods will get on the field a little bit. So this is an opportunity for these guys to see what they have in some other players. Some young cornerbacks will probably get some more time. Some young safeties too. So This is the time to absolutely do that, and it's necessary, and it will help them for their planning for next year.
Mary Kay, we had Kadarius Toney. We saw a sighting of him get one reverse, and he kind of was done after that reverse. Was that just something they had planned in the package, or do they plan on expanding that role a little bit to see what they got in Kadarius Toney?
Well, I think he's one of those guys where you really do want to see what you have. I feel that way about DTR too, and maybe even Bailey Zappi to a certain extent, the third string quarterback. Now is the time to see what you have in some of these younger guys. Maybe not right away, but as you move through the rest of the season, maybe the final 3 games, 4 games, whatever the case may be. But Kadarius Toney, he's someone that if they could get something out of him, they wanted to see what he could do in terms of speed. He brings that element of speed that you can't coach. But that certainly was a failed experiment with him the other day. I think you just have to keep coming back at it and see if there's anything there.
You mentioned Cedric Tillman and the concussion. Do we have an update? Is he he's not definitely out for this week, is he? Or
No, he's not out for this week. And I think the good thing about this week is that they have 10 days between games. So
True.
Guys that needed a little extra time to heal up are getting it. Cedric Tillman is one of those guys. Jedrick Wills is one of those guys. I know a lot of people think that we've seen the last of Jedrick Wills this season, but we really haven't. He's going to get back in there, and he's going to play some more football, and it will help them in their evaluation with him for next season.
All right, Mary Kay, let's get to the most important question of the day. Who is the most annoying fellow Browns beat reporter that drives you crazy? I'm kidding.
Mary Kay was like, I can't hear you, bull. I can't hear you. You're breaking up on me, bull. You're breaking. I gotta go.
Let me. If all the Browns beat reporters got together for a meal, who would be most likely to pick up the check? Most likely to pick up the check.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh gosh, I just can't answer that one.
No?
I can't answer. No, I can't answer because we just always split the checks. None of us have to do that. We're all on expense accounts, and so we don't really We really don't do that.
That's true.
Mary Kay, is turkey overrated?
Oh, come on.
For me, a little bit, yes,
Yes.
Messed up.
but
I'm
not
with you,
for
Mary Kay. Mary Kay,
not other my family.
have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for taking the time as
Broke
always.
my heart.
And we'll talk to you next week. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, guys. Take care.
All right.